Hey folks, welcome back. So yesterday Serum 2 dropped out of nowhere, and I guess there are already a gazillion videos on YouTube showing you how to make a psytrance bass with this. So in this video I want to give you a quick rundown and maybe some thoughts about what I like and what I don't like about this. So first up, if you own Serum 1, this update is completely for free for you. You can leave a tip if you want to, and I recommend to leave a tip, because there are a lot of features, a lot of new things in there. And yeah, it's completely free actually. That's a big plus point in my opinion, because the update is not small. So Serum 2 is like initially a wavetable synthesizer, but they also introduced now here, instead of 2 oscillators, we have now 3 oscillators, and each of these oscillators can be in a different mode. So we have wavetable, multi-sample, sample, granular, spectral. So different modes you can use, which was not there before. Before we had only wavetable, right? There's also here the wavetable editor, where you can draw in your own harmonics or your own waveform in here. You can also import waveforms, right? And then you can morph between them here, between a different wavetable position. So it's a nice wavetable editor, and I use this here all the time. So in Serum 1, I probably use Serum 1 only for the wavetable editor most of the times. But now here it's a fresh new update. The GUI looks a bit nicer in my opinion, a bit fresher, and we can rescale the whole thing. So we have multiple oscillator types here. Multi-sample, let's init this here actually, or let's put this here to init preset. Hit stop. So wavetable oscillator is pretty clear, I think. Then we have a multi-sample oscillator type, which is basically just a multi-sampler. It's not an oscillator, it's actually just a sampler. And we can load here SFZ files, and we can load up some presets, and we can do our own presets, of course. So let's go here for keys. Baby grand piano 2. Okay, so you can see here all the cells. It's basically the velocity and yeah, multiple samples for different keys and different velocity settings. Okay, so it's a sampler now inside of a synthesizer. So this makes Serum 2 automatically like some kind of flagship synthesizer, or something, a nice foundation for your big library of samples that you want to build, or maybe you want to sell a lot of presets to customers. So Serum 2 is a nice foundation for that, in my opinion. Then we have a normal sample player here. We can use some bass sounds. One shot, we have here crossfade, different playback directions. Oh, that's only the loop here. Yeah, that's the loop. Okay. Then we have here granular, of course. That's something you don't want to miss. You can change the scan speed. Density is here. We can edit here basically the playback window. If we put it here, then it's more like a taggy. Then we have spectral stuff here, so you can drag in samples and also images if you want to. And then you can apply filters here, custom filters. Hello? You can amplify certain sounds, certain frequencies, certain harmonics. You can see also the change here in real time. You can change the cutoff frequency of this. So you can create your own spectral filters on top of a spectral playback engine. Then some warp modes, some spectral ones, smear, is cool. Shift is cool. Comp filter on top. Pitch shift. Format for code. A lot of stuff in here. So there actually is something like spread, yeah. So you can spread the harmonics apart. It's also something that you can do in Zebra. So a lot of new engines that you can use for sound designing stuff. It's good to have, and it gives you a lot of options. So 3 new oscillators, or 3 oscillators with new types of engines. A sub oscillator here that you can use to add maybe a sub. You can also put this or bypass all the filters here if you want to. So you can send it to a direct out. Then we have here also a noise sampler with different presets. I think you can also just load samples in here, drag in some waveforms, wave files. But you have already here a lot of different things you can use to play back. So stuff you can use to layer something on top of snares, kick drums, or sounds to give it some texture, using it as a modulation source to make some sound experiments, whatever you want to do with this. Then we have 2 filters here. Nothing special. You can also select if you want to route all the oscillators through this filter or just one. We have also here these drop downs or pull downs or overlays or modals or however you want to call it. Then you can say, oh, I want to have this here go through filter A, filter B, right? Filter 1, filter 2. So you can mix and match between that. That's also new. I think the filters here are pretty great. You have a lot of filters you can choose from. These are all the new filters from Serum 2, and I think the most interesting one is the DJ mixer here, which looks like this. So you have, if you pull this down, you have a high cut and you have a low cut. Can I actually hear this here maybe? Hello? Let's go to wavetable. And you have to go to A. So nice to have. Then the other interesting one was the PZ SVF here, where you can draw in your own filter curves. So you can hit this button here and then draw a filter curve in for snapshot 4, or snapshot 1 is a different one, right? Snapshot 2 is maybe this filter. And here we push something like this. And then you have this small little icon here you can draw around. It's actually here something in between. It pushes the pushes the low end for some reason. But you can define your own filters and then morph between these filters. So pretty dope actually to have this. PZ SVF, my opinion here, the most interesting one. Also some other ones you can use, but the rest is more or less the same as in Serum 1. Okay. Then we have down here all the modulations, or the modulation sources envelopes, and also LFOs. Each of these tabs you can switch to a different mode. So we have normal, which is a segment or multi-stage envelope generator here. But we can also use path, so we can draw in a path you want to use then. And we modulate here, let's say, wavetable position, or maybe not the wavetable position. Maybe put the filter on that. Remove all modulators. And then put this, the X coordinate and the Y coordinate of different things. And then you can draw a shape. Something like this, or like say chaos here, Lorentz attractor, which is at 2 planets and moving parts that are kind of in the gravity field of these 2 planets. If you kind of like this, we can also change the playback speed. Pretty interesting. My kind of criticism with this is here, for me it's not enough. You have only 6 LFOs, and someone mentioned on Discord you have to define LFO 6 here to something, let's say drive, and then you get 3 more LFOs, so 7, 8, 9, and 10. In my opinion, why not have unlimited modulation sources like in Bitwig? Sometimes I have grid patches with 20 or more random modulation sources just to make it more organic. So why limit this here in this kind of weird way? Just make it a drop down maybe and let me add more LFOs. Let me remove here. Oh, I have to remove this. Okay. So yeah, these are the modulators. Would be nice to have them, to have more of them, more or less. Then there's something I don't like here is when you define, let's say you modulate something here, cut off, right? And then you switch away to LFO2. You can't see the modulation amount here anymore on cutoff. You can still see that there is a modulation happening because there's a moving dot, but you can't change the modulation amount. You have to go to LFO1 here or to XY. You have to click on this to see actually here this line and then to change the amount. You can of course go to matrix here, but it's a bit cumbersome and tedious to find then here the right entry. In my opinion, it would be nice to have here right click and let me choose which modulation or which modulation source destination amount I want to change directly on the knob itself instead of going to the matrix panel here or clicking around in the modulation sources to find the right modulator. This is much better inside of Bitwig Studio. If you ask me, it feels a bit outdated, to be honest. But yeah, but you can, it's not like super bad or anything like this, just playing on a high level. Also, your envelopes are just triggered by the key input, and you can use this as a multi-stage envelope generator. I don't think here there's a different mode you can like you can choose here from the LFOs. So these are the modulation sources. We have also macros here, of course, and velocity and key tracking here. If you want to use this, that's also possible. Then we have here now clips in there, so you can create notes inside of Serum. So it's almost like a digital audio workstation. You can change the clip length. We can hit play. We can also add here automation to that. I think you can choose all kinds of different things here. There's even note attributes, something like a chance, right? So you can say the chance of this note being played is very low. So it plays sometimes, not all the time. Then you can use different clips in here. You can also hit record. Even with the metronome, you can right click, we can say we want to quantize this. We can choose down here something like a key and a mode, minor. You can see the scale highlighted in the background. You can also select all the notes, right click and say conform to scale, which is already the case. From the scale, then it switches to the next possible note in the scale. So you can make music basically with this synthesizer alone. You don't need to use a digital audio workstation. If they implement some kind of clip launcher here, which is already the case, and maybe an arranger, then it's almost a full-blown digital audio workstation, right? We have lots of options here on the left side, overdub, all the sweet stuff, right? So it's a full-blown clip launcher, right? Then we have also here ARP, which gives you all the different arpeggio options here, up, down, different versions of that. So you can hold multiple notes. Maybe use here an envelope for this. Switch on the ARP. Remove all destinations. Maybe a steeper one. So we have here in this ARP all kinds of different patterns, but we can also define our own pattern, right? So you can see down here we have different patterns we can change or use to play it back, to play back chords. So in here we have basically nothing, but you can hit this small little button here, and when we press multiple notes, you can see here that I'm selecting multiple notes, and then you can define how they are played back. Something like this, maybe make this shorter. So this is almost like Cthulhu, or it's exactly like Cthulhu inside of Serum, so you can define your own ARP patterns instead of choosing something predefined here. It would be nice to have this actually also in Bitwig, in the Arpeggiator, that you can define your own patterns. But the pattern is not like it's predefined notes. It's selecting from the chord you are playing the root note and the second note and the third note and so on. So it's not like it's defining the notes. It defines what kind of notes you are selecting for playing back a pattern. Okay, so then there's a lot of different things here, of course, transposing up, down, playback, how you want to launch it, playback speed, and so on. And then you can put this all in different clip launchers here also. So you can play different. Maybe use something different here. So you can switch between different ARP patterns on the fly. Pretty dope. I think this is all you need to make good music. There are no excuses anymore, okay? So this is the ARP. Then of course down here we can change a mode or a scale. I think this is also here. I'm not sure if you can actually press. Yeah, it's also using here the note input, so you can't press wrong notes or out of the scale notes. So I'm pressing here E, this note, but it's constrained to D sharp. So there's a diatonic transposer also included in here, where we can change the scale and the mode. Also pretty dope to have this in here. In my opinion, you don't need anything else. You just need Serum. You can do everything with Serum now, more or less. It's a flagship synthesizer digital audio workstation. Like I said, if they add an arranger, then it's a full-blown DAW, more or less. So these are the LFOs. This is the clip here, ARP. I showed you all of this. Then we have here, of course, a mix tab. So you can change the loudness, the volume of the individual oscillators here. Also the filter output, we have a bus 1, bus 2, so we can send certain things to the bus here and then put different effects on it if you want to. This is the direct out. Direct out is more or less when you want to send, for instance, the sub, right? You want to send directly out and you want to bypass all the audio effects here. Can be interesting if you have bass sounds, right? Oh, that's too. Let me go down here an octave. Oh, I actually have a clip in here, right? So I have this. So I have the bass or the sub on here, right, and all the rest. Oh, that's the main out. Okay, I see. So you can route the sub out directly out and bypass all the effects on that. So FX, you can see we have a lot of different effects now here. We can also use unlimited effects. I can use certain things multiple times. Actually, let me reset this here. In a preset, there it is, FX. Lot of interesting things. Most interesting is probably that we have now splitters here, low band, high band. So it's basically FX2 in Bitwig Studio or FX3. Can we add another splitter? Hello? Can only add one splitter? Is this true? So here we have low band, mid band, high band, and then you can put here different things into the low band. In the mid band, you add a delay or whatever. Then so splitters are also now possible in Serum. I think the interface is, gets in the way here and there. But it looks nice. It looks almost like kind of a dark version of Reason or something like any native instruments. What's the name? Guitar. It's not Guitar Hero. You know what I mean. So it looks a bit like this, a bit like skeuomorphic. It's not a flat interface. It looks nice. I think it looks nice. It's also dark, so why not? Let's go in it here, back to that. So that's the FX part here. We can also use the FX part, of course, with a separate plugin, Serum 2 FX here, and then you can put it on your track, on your audio, if you don't want to use the oscillator part. Another thing is that here in the global thing, we have now voice control. So when you play multiple keys or notes, you can see it switches here from voice to voice. So every time you play a note, you switch to a different point here. And then you can pan it around if you press multiple keys. Right? Every sound or every voice is on a different pan or in a different position in the stereo field. Sometimes interesting. You can also do this for detuning and cutoff. I don't know what they mean with cutoff. Probably filter cutoff. Probably filter 1, I guess. Yeah. There are also presets for this. Pretty nice. Quality. I have quality most of the times, or sometimes I switch it to good, because some of the oscillator engines are very CPU intensive. Something like Spectral here. Let's put in here, let's say a piano sound, right? And you pull down the scan knob here. And then you bring up the unison. And then we play multiple notes, and each note has 7 voices, right? Then you can see the DSP meter here going up, but also my CPU is at the moment in energy saving mode. But you can really bring your CPU down with this Spectral engine here. Maybe use your Spectral smear and maybe a custom filter. And bring this these partials down and only amplify here the top ones. By the way, you can also drag images in here. You don't need to drag in waveforms or wave samples, or just select here something from the presets. You can just drag in images for some reason. Yeah, you can see it. CPU is. And then we can pan this around here, right? Something like this. panel. FX, let's put here chorus on there, or maybe hyperdimension first. Then convolve. That's also interesting here, the convolution device. Massive, long, let's use this one here. You can change the size on the fly. But also CPU intensive. And then reverb, a normal reverb, hall. And maybe a chorus after convolution. A bit quiet, huh? Maybe bring a sub here to that. Put a filter on the sub. Also interesting, you can use a second oscillator here. Bring the level down and then FM or PD this here would be. Maybe an octave higher. Let's use here the Lorentz attractor, maybe a bit slower. And A goes to that. By the way, if you want to change the modulation from bipolar to unipolar, I think you have to use Shift, Alt and click. It's pretty unintuitive. It would be nice to have this also here on a right click, or maybe give you a hint that you can use this key combination. So Shift, Alt and click and you change it from unipolar to bipolar. And maybe use a compressor at the end. Compressor and then multiband. So we're using here Y, X for this and Y for this cutoff. Shift Alt click. And maybe put this to forward loop. So we stay in a certain range here. Then use LFO2 and use Rosler for the scan speed. You can see now when I want to change quickly the scan modulation amount here, it's not possible. I have to click through all the stuff here and or remember what I used to modulate this. So it's very annoying for me actually, coming from Bitwig where you can change it on the fly. Right, so I want to change this, but you know, I have to look here. Oh, I'm using LFO2. Oh, okay, I have to click here and then Oh, is it Y? No, it's X. Okay. And then I can change it. Okay, FX. Do we have here an EQ? We have an equalizer. Nice. We put this in front of the compressor and maybe pull down here. Oh yeah, let's modulate this here with this, maybe? Let's reset this here for a moment. In it. Or let's try out here maybe a preset 5 alive. Okay, I see. Do we have a nice noise here? Let me see, organics. Paperback is always nice. And we can pitch it down. And we send this through filter 2 maybe? And here we use a high pass. Or maybe SVZ. Snapshot 1. Right click, high pass filter. Something like this. Snapshot 2 is also here, high pass. We amplify here something. It's not that easy to control. I'm not sure why it tries to amplify here, sometimes the low end that much. Yeah, I don't know why, but it is like it is. So yeah, let's try and use the LFO3 Rosler. Make it a bit slower, and then use X for X here and Y for Y. Let's see. Shift, Alt and click. Does it work? No. I would like to modulate actually also on top, so bipolar, but it's only using here unipolar. I don't know how to change this. Not possible. Anyway. Can also define a clip. I'm going to make this clip longer, 16 bars. That's not 16 bars here. Can we actually, oh, what's happening in the background? So we can select everything. Oh, it's not scrolling, okay. Okay. Wow, what a nice pad. Oh, we have to click here, okay. So yeah, you can do a lot of stupid things in this. I'll probably experiment with this a bit more. Maybe I do some videos on it if I come up with something interesting. But I want to give you a quick overview and some of the neat features. By the way, this thing is always or still in there from Serum 1, so you can always drag out a waveform here to Bitwig Studio if it let me. It probably bounces in the background, so you can use this to drag out samples into your DAW from Serum. Yeah, it probably crashed, but yeah, there's a small hidden feature here. It's also in Serum 1. Pretty dope if you do, let's say, FX sounds or bass sounds here and there, and you just want to drag it out. Maybe use your like bass sound. Right. Then you drag it out, right, and then you have this here as a waveform. So very nice if you want to make sample collections or just need some specific FX sound and you don't want to play this synth live all the time. Maybe I forgot something I want to mention. Yeah, if you have Serum 1, this is completely free. I think I mentioned this already in the beginning. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below about Serum 2. And if you bought it, and in my opinion, it's a great synth. It's not like a game changer that you can do now things you couldn't do before. But it's just a nice package of very good ideas. It's maybe loses a bit of focus in terms of, you know, having clips in here. But I still think it has the best wavetable editor, and I use this all the time. And yeah, it's a great package. You can't do wrong. If you don't have any synthesizer and you want one, this is a great synthesizer you can buy, in my opinion. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, leave a subscription. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. See you next time, and bye.